Hi, I'm Liz Hill, a staff product designer,
And I'm Ben Perlmutter, a senior AI engineer.
and today we're excited to talk to you about the AI Assistant program at MongoDB. So first we're going to talk a little bit more about how we built it, and I want to hear about what was the moment that we realized we wanted to build an AI assistant in the first place.
Absolutely. So we started thinking about the problem in December of 22, but then it was in the winter of 23 that we built the first real robust prototype, which we actually built during an internal hackathon that we have regularly called Skunk Works, kind of a fun name. So a group of us, I think it was 5 people, we were just heads down trying to make this thing a reality. Now, creating a chatbot or an assistant like this is kind of table stakes in the AI industry or the tech industry more generally. But at the time, it was quite novel. There was like 1 or 2 blog posts that we were basing our project on. And also concurrently to this, and conveniently for this product at MongoDB, MongoDB had just released an internal preview of Atlas Vector Search, which allows us to do AI-based search to power the whole experience. So we're able to use that to make the product work.
Exciting. Sounds like a fun project and hackathon. I remember seeing that come out and being very impressed.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to work on. And with that in mind, well, this was a fun thing for me as an engineer to build. What for you, from the product and design perspective, made you want to put in front of our users?
Yeah, I mean, we were so excited to see that there was this assistant chatbot up and working, and we knew that it had the opportunity to solve a whole lot of our users' problems. Obviously, we have a huge documentation site. It's really robust and well written, but at the same time, we wanted to be able to allow users to find the exact information that they needed far more quickly. And so I think we knew that this would give us the opportunity to deliver that to our users. And it was great to see it expand across our university platform and then .com for people who are even thinking of adopting MongoDB. And then it's been great, however many years later, now it's in the product, helping people understand what cluster configuration is the best for them in Atlas, helping them to debug their connection strings in Compass or generate queries and even interact with their data. So I know the product design team is talking to users and already thinking about what's next for the assistant. So I think that there's a whole bunch of user problems that we're going to be able to use AI to help.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been really interesting to see how, as the AI models themselves that power all of these experiences, as they get better, we're able to just deliver better and better experiences to users with them.
So now I'd love to talk about how we actually built the assistant. Can you talk a little bit more about what actually happens when a user asks the assistant a question?
Absolutely. So the assistant is what you could call an AI agent under the hood. Every time you send a query to it, there's an AI model that decides what to do with that query. So sometimes it'll just answer directly or call a tool if a tool is provided by the end application. Like, for example, in Compass, maybe it will call the tool to look up some data in your application. But also under the hood, we have some internal tools that perform retrieval-augmented generation, which practically means we have a search engine over our internal documentation that we use to inform the answers generated by the AI to provide more reliable, accurate answers than just the model would be able to provide on its own.
I know that's really important for giving our users the right answers. Can you talk a little bit more about how Atlas Vector Search, and Voyage 4 fit into the architecture of the assistant?
Sure. So we use all of those technologies to power the experience. When we started out building it, we were using MongoDB, Atlas, and just the standard MongoDB database features within Atlas to store all of our conversation data. And we also use Atlas Vector Search to power that retrieval-augmented generation aspect of it. And more recently, with the introduction of the Voyage 4 models on Atlas, we've been using that as our embedding models in the retrieval system. And since we switched over to Voyage 4, we've actually seen, believe per our internal evaluation metrics, it's a 10% quality increase just by switching out the previous model that we were using for the Voyage models. So we're able to deliver even more reliable answers to our users.
Love to see that.
With this idea of reliability in mind, how do we communicate through the product design that this is, in fact, a reliable product that our users should trust?
That's a good question. I think when it first went out to the public, people were far more wary of AI 3 and however many years ago. And now people are using AI, especially developers, every day in their workflows. So it's less that people are wary of AI, but wanting to give them trust in our specific assistant. So that's things like helping the user to understand what the assistant can and can't do upfront. It's things like understanding how much information we need to give to the user. So, depending on what the assistant is doing, how much do we want to tell them about what's going on behind the scenes? And I know that as we start to think about more complex use cases, we're also thinking about how much control and how much oversight we want to give to the AI assistant and how much we want to let it run autonomously. So there's all these considerations, and I think it really depends on what the assistant is doing. And I think as long as we're giving people control over even the settings for the assistant and what kind of features they want to enable or disable, I think that's how we're going to earn their trust. In addition to all the things that your team is working on, like data security and correct answers.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time thinking about those things, how to ensure that the assistant is not just reliable in the answers that it gives you, but also any data that it touches, especially if it's customer data, is by default just not stored at all. Because if it's not stored, there's way less security risk. And if it is, how do we handle it securely? Only store the most minimal amount of data, and even that data which we store, we put in a very secure location. So now that we've been working on this for a few years now, I feel like we've kind of cut our teeth in the space, so to speak. What do you think is unique about designing for these generative AI experiences over traditional software products?
Good question. I mean, I think that a lot of designers across the industry and certainly across MongoDB are grappling with the same transition or have been for a couple years now. I think one of the biggest differences is that you're not designing these user flows where it's like, as a designer what this button will do, and the user has total control of all of the levers and knobs and is really controlling the outcome. It's this more probabilistic thing because AI is probabilistic. And so we're really trying to give users the right amount of information and the right amount of insight to know what to do next and to feel comfortable working with the assistant. So I think similar to we were talking about trust earlier on, I think it's really thinking about how do we build a system that's flexible for the types of questions that the assistant answers and the actions that the assistant needs to take, and also being really careful taking into consideration, when we need to give users certain controls and information. And I could ask you the same question.
So I think that what is unique about building for these AI experiences that kind of differs from traditional software is the emphasis on evaluation and taking an evaluation driven approach to development. And by evaluation, I mean having a bunch of input cases that are representative of real things that a user would ask, then piping them through the system and measuring how well the system answers those cases and using that as sort of the North Star of our product development lifecycle. Because given that we know the system already works pretty well, I think with AI, you can like get to a prototype just sort of through vibes and, oh, this feels right. But to make something a production system and a reliable production system over time, you need to take this evaluation driven approach to make sure that there aren't any regressions and that when you're adding new features or say changing AI models, you can make those changes and just quickly measure whether or not it's working well, as opposed to just playing around with for the vibes, because that really doesn't scale.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the team put a lot of effort and care into making sure that we're answering all the questions we need to. So how has MongoDB made building the assistant easier?
So it definitely has made building the assistant easier. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. So the Atlas data platform with its core database has allowed us to really easily scale the application as our traffic has grown. And it has grown tremendously since we launched, which is nice. And then there's the AI specific features, namely Atlas Vector Search, which we use for our retrieval system. And then more recently, we have the Voyage AI models built into Atlas. So we use the AI through an API embedded within Atlas to perform retrieval.
So, looking ahead, where do you think developer AI assistants go from here?
So I think if we look at how it has evolved over time, we can see where it's going. We started out just doing like these natural language question and answers where it wasn't really touching a developer's unique experience or their own data. And that was great a few years ago when the models were more limited. But over the past few years, we know that the models have gotten meaningfully better. They're able to perform these more agentic tasks, we call them, take actions on users' behalf. So right now, the functionality is very read only. It'll look at the data, tell users about their data, but won't necessarily do anything. So I think the direction which we're moving is having the AI act, do things agentically on the user's behalf.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's definitely where we're going from our assistant's perspective. The nature of AI is changing so fast. I was gonna say in 6 months, who knows what it'll look like, but probably more like in the next 2 weeks, something could shift and something else exciting could happen. So it's a fun area to be thinking about.
Thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure sharing our work for the past few years on the assistant with you. And Liz, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, if you want to check out the assistant for yourself, you can find it across many of our platforms, and you can learn more about it on mongodb.com/docs.